Hello and welcome back to Financial Questions Answered. Today we are answering another question that was submitted. So I'm just going to read through it first and then get into the response. Like I said, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only, not for tax, legal, or investment advice. Now let's get into the question. So the titling of it is Inheritance Pays Enough. What to do for work? ? So it says, I recently lost a family member who never had any children. Because of this, I'm inheriting a family trust that I understand generates income every year with an average of 6 figures a year. I'm currently in between jobs and considering a career change before this all happened. I haven't told my boyfriend I live with yet that this is coming. He just knows that there's a will that's still going through probate and that all my family members have left me something. I wasn't really planning to tell him about all of the details of the trust unless we got married. But in the meantime, I've been dragging my feet on getting a new job until the legal protocols are settled and I know for certain that this is coming. I think my boyfriend may be starting to get frustrated that I haven't found a new job yet while he works, even though I have plenty of savings and I've never had any issues splitting bills, activities evenly with him, but I'm starting to feel under pressure to take the first opportunity that comes, even if it isn't my dream job, just to work. The main point of this is, if you were to receive passive income for the foreseeable future, I'm curious what you would do with money and how you would spend your time or what you'd want to do. So that's a great question, and there's actually a ton to unpack behind it. Things are not as straightforward as they seem in these types of scenarios. So first off, I'm sorry for your loss of this family member. Our hearts go out to you, and this is a great question to ask at this moment in your life. So one of the first pieces of information that I want to address is you're saying that this trust that you're going to be receiving will have an average of 6 figures a year of income. So one thing that you should really take a hard look at right off the bat is this 6 figures going to be dividends and interest income? If so, that is the correct way to look at this of income. If you are looking at the appreciation of the trust each year and predicting what that return may be, and you're projecting out like a 4, 5, 6% return per year, and that's what you're considering the 6 figures of year of income, that is not how I would recommend looking at it. The reason behind that is because depending on the type of trust, there's multiple different trusts that can be set up and different rules for each of those types of trusts. So you'll want to consult a legal professional on this and understand how the trust works. Depending on the type of trust, some of these trusts require you to distribute the income at the end of each year. There's typically a 60-day window that you're allowed to do this within at the end of the year. So that income will move from within the trust into your personal fund of money, within your personal wealth bucket. That will be taxed at your ordinary income rates, okay? Because it's moving from within the trust into your personal financial situation. The capital gains that are left within the trust in this type of trust scenario would be taxed at that trust rate. So that's one thing you want to look at if this is that type of trust. There are multiple other different types of trusts that this could be, so that is not a broad brush for this scenario, but it sounds like it may be that type of trust. So first off, like I said, I would want to ensure that 6 figures a year of income is dividend and interest income, that income that is going to be moving into your personal bucket and not appreciation within the trust. From there, I would want to take a look at future expenses. So yes, 6 figures a year of dividend and interest income sounds great. It sounds like a lot of money. Sounds like something you could live well off of for the foreseeable future. One thing to look at in this planning is, are you foreseeing anything in the future that may go above and beyond what this amount of dividend and interest income is? So for example, if you were going to be purchasing a house and the down payment on that house was going to be higher than this $100,000 that you're receiving, or whatever 6-figure income this is per year. If you wanted to purchase it and you needed the assets, you'd be taking it from the trust, putting it into your personal account as a whole, and then buying that home. What that does to the trust is you're removing principal from the trust so that it's going to impact your future income that is coming off that trust each and every year beyond that point. So it may no longer be 6 figures a year of income that's coming off of the trust if you're taking principal out to purchase something. So looking at future expenses that may be coming down the road are super important and something you want to take a hard look at and plan out in the future. Additionally, so in most cases when you're working a job, you're an employee and the employer takes out a portion of your paycheck for taxes. And at the end of the year, you file your taxes, you may have a refund, you may owe a little bit at the end of the year. But in this scenario, when you're transferring money within a trust into your name, and that number is almost 6 figures a year, you're going to need to be paying estimated taxes throughout the year. So there's quarterly taxes that are due. You're going to want to be paying those. You're going to want to speak to your accountant, speak to a legal and tax professional about how to plan for this, because there will be a large tax bill at the end of the year when you are moving money from the trust into your name. So that's something to plan for. It may not actually be 6 figures a year that you're having coming out. For example, if it is $100,000 and this is bringing up your tax bracket, I mean, that significantly can reduce what you have for living expenses throughout the year. So beyond those few pieces of planning items that are critical to plan for right off the top, the next piece I'd get into is just you're talking about some personal concerns with your boyfriend and how to address the situation with him. I don't know any background on the relationship or what the situation is. It says you're living together. It sounds like things are serious. And you say, unless we get married, you may disclose this information. That's completely your call. That is personal information. And something that only you can really address in this situation. Me personally, I am more open and upfront about things. I would be upfront with my girlfriend, sharing that information and explaining the situation that's going on so that there isn't confusion about why I'm not looking for a new job or why I'm not pursuing things, and why I'm taking a step back to soak all this in and plan for the future and plan for what this means and how this is changing my life. So I think that's critical, and open communication seems like a great way to go about this. But if it's a relationship that you may not foresee lasting long into the future, it may be a different scenario that you want to take, or a different strategy that you want to take with this. So beyond that, you're saying that you're splitting everything with him. Sounds like a great approach. Feeling that he's putting pressure on you. So that communication, coming back to that, that's what I would do, is communicate, be open, be honest, talk about the situation. You may not even need to explain the total amount, but just explain what's going on and why you're taking this time. As far as future work goes, I don't know, you didn't submit what your age is, if you have children, if you have other responsibilities, do you have debt payments, do you have anything else going on in your life? I'm not sure here, so there's not a full financial information that I would need to make a comprehensive, educated guess here, which is why you should seek a professional before you make any final decisions. But it seems like, from what I'm seeing here, you should see about getting another job or pursuing your dreams, or using these funds to start a company, or to take the time to figure out what you're passionate about and focus your career efforts in that direction. It doesn't seem like a case here, from what you've described, as such a large inheritance that you will never need to work again in your life. And this may be the case if you are very financially planned out into the future and you stay disciplined to that, and you keep control of your income and your expenses, and you really monitor things. But these inheritances tend to go quite a bit faster than people expect, and they are spent down in a matter of years, typically, when people think they're going to last decades. So that's something to really keep a critical eye on. But use this time to figure out what you're passionate about, figure out what would be a great next job. Use it as an opportunity that not a lot of people get, to explore what you want to do with this next step. This may take a little bit of time, which is where that open communication could come in with your fiance or with your boyfriend. But it seems like a good situation and that you could take advantage of at the time. So thank you for submitting this question. I hope these were helpful points as you're going through this situation here. Again, I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope this was helpful. Thank you.